Golden Bachelor Gerry Turner is in the hot seat after an expose in The Hollywood Reporter. Hey everyone, welcome back to Shared News. We have a lot to get into today. There was this bombshell article in The Hollywood Reporter all about Gerry Turner, and he has responded. We're gonna get into it, but first, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, so you never miss out on any Bachelor Nation posts. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright. Some fans of The Golden Bachelor aren't sure what to think after an expose came out in The Hollywood Reporter about America's beloved, our first ever Golden Bachelor, Gerry Turner. The article describes a juiced up resume, secret girlfriends, and some unflattering details about his past relationships. We'll start with the resume. On the show, Gerry's occupation is shown and referred to as a retired restaurateur, but according to his LinkedIn profile, per The Hollywood Reporter, Gerry last owned a restaurant in 1985 when he sold his Mr. Quick hamburger drive-in franchise in Iowa. The article says after that, he held various sales and management positions in the meat business, that his post-retirement work included installing hot tubs and working as a maintenance man. To me, this doesn't seem like a very big deal. Like, if this is supposed to be your super hot tea, that, you know, he's not a retired restaurateur because he's worked after he retired from that, I think that is like not a great expose in my opinion. But that's just the beginning, because according to The Hollywood Reporter, Gerry was in another relationship after his wife Tony had passed away. The woman, who remained anonymous but went by Carolyn in the article, details her 3-year relationship with Gerry beginning a month after his wife's death. She was a staff accountant at a mental health center that they both worked at. They dated for 10 months and then lived together for 1 year and 9 months. Now, before we get into some of the unflattering details about this relationship, The Hollywood Reporter is pretty much painting the picture that the storyline that we've got with Gerry is not reality, right? The picture that has been painted for us as viewers is that he lost his wife in 2017, has not dated since then, is looking for his second shot at love, where apparently he has dated since his wife's passing, and some of these relationships haven't been good ones. So Carolyn said that Gerry body shamed her in October of 2019, refusing to take her to a high school reunion. According to Carolyn, Gerry said, quote, "I'm not taking you to the reunion looking like that," as he pointed to her body, and that she had put on 10 pounds from stress. She says the disinvitation led to their breakup, and Gerry had asked her to be out by January 2020. He volunteered to cover the cost of her U-Haul as long as she paid the vendor. She goes on to say that as she was packing, she was so frazzled that she actually had a fall down the stairs, requiring a trip to the ER and foot surgery the following day. As Carolyn recalls, Gerry accused her of using the fall as an excuse to prolong her stay and suggested that she was planning to sue him for causing the injury. In the end, Carolyn tells The Hollywood Reporter that he refused to let her stay in the house that they had together and told her to go to a hotel. Obviously, horrible comments that should never be made to a woman, but just to paint the whole picture, this is one side of the story, you know, and are we to believe 100% one side of the story without hearing what Gerry has to say? Well, he did kind of address the Hollywood Report article in a People magazine article. So this is what Gerry had to say. He says, "I've dated a number of times since Tony's passed, more recently than back closer to when she's passed. For one reason or another, the attempts didn't work out. I could give you a wide range of reasons, but it doesn't really matter." He also says that about after 3 years, he sought the help of a grief counselor. He says, "It was a difficult time, but I finally decided it's time for me to see a grief counselor because I wasn't sure I was on track." He says, "I wasn't sure I was mending properly. It was probably a life changer for me because I remember having 2 sessions with the counselor," and he goes, "You're fine. You just got to give yourself credit for being okay." When asked if Gerry feels happy at this point in his life, he simply said, "I am Yes. So there's a lot to take in here with this article, and I might have the unpopular opinion. While some things are certainly unflattering, I personally don't want this article to ruin my experience that I've had watching The Golden Bachelor. This has been the first time in a long time where I actually have really looked forward to the episodes. Couldn't wait for Thursday night to sit down and watch it with my husband. You know, we're loving the women and their camaraderie together. They're like their own little sitcom. You know, you really are rooting for Gerry. His family is also really amazing. So I don't know. That's my opinion. Let me know your opinion in the comments section below. What do you think of The Hollywood Reporter? What do you think of Gerry's response to the article? And does this affect his reputation as the first Golden Bachelor? We'd love to hear from you guys, so leave all your thoughts and comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel, ring the bell before you head out, and we will see you next time on Shared News.